Hello and welcome to Campr, coming to you from the Coulson Track. Somewhere in the middle of the Simpson Desert is where you'll find us early this morning after a fun-filled night around the campfire. Everywhere you look out here, things are a little different.
This is another of those little wonders of the Simpson Desert. Had me intrigued, but I asked a few of the crew and they said it's actually an ant's nest. Looks nothing like an ant's nest from my neck of the woods. What a fantastic night last night here in the Simpson Desert, sleeping between the dunes on the Coulson Track. We're going to head further north today and we'll make a right-hand turn onto the Madigan Line. Not a lot of people get up there. Don't know what we're going to encounter, but that is all part of the adventure.
We are really off the map today. I don't expect that we'll see anybody now for the next 3 or 4 days. That's how remote we are.
So just after our fire last night, we're just making sure that it's all covered up, just in case someone happens to come and camp here tomorrow night or tonight. They're not going to walk in the fire and get burnt, and we're also covering up with traces of where we've been.
We're about halfway up the section of the Coulson Track that we're driving, and the country is getting more beautiful by the minute. Up ahead, the convoy has taken an unscheduled stop, which means someone has an issue, and that someone is Scott Jennings.
Just heard on the radio up ahead we've got some tyre trouble, so we're racing to investigate.
Couldn't find a camp last night, so we had to go bush, and I take it I've got a tiny little stick in the sidewall there, and any other tyre would be destroyed by now. But what we've done is we're just going to put a little plug in that hole. It's only a tiny little leak, took us ages to find it, so we'll get that sorted out now. But what we're going to do is we're going to put a plug in the hole, which is one of these little stringy things. We're going to push it into the hole, bring it back out, I'll demonstrate, and that'll get us back on the road straight away. We'll put some more air back in it and we'll be straight away. Just feeding him through, like so. Make sure you get it ready before you go pushing the hole in. So this seems really terrible to be doing that to your tyre, but now we've got the hole ready. Come out, in with the plug, to about there, hold him back, sort it out. Now, looks ugly, we'll be back on the road, we'll put some air in it. This is a temporary repair, okay? You need to, once you get back, you need to take it to a tyre store and get it sorted out. I was just saying to the boys how good these new ARB twin compressors are. In a 285 tyre, 20 psi to 40 psi in 60 seconds. Clockwork.
It's having equipment like this and knowing how to use it quickly and confidently that can save you hours of work in the field. As Scott mentioned, it's very unusual for him to have an issue with a tyre, but this sort of terrain will offer up all sorts of surprises when you least expect it. A few hours on and we arrive at the point where the Coulson and Madigan tracks merge. Strangely, I feel like taking a photo, but there's nothing to take a photo of. So instead, I put a jerry of diesel into the 76 while the crew organise morning tea. Now, you could go to the trouble of lighting a fire, boiling a billy, eating tea leaves and gritting your cuppa, or you could be Mark and Fiona Lacey and forego any of that. The back of their 200 series is like a spaceship. Coffee, anyone?
So you two don't want for much. I've ducked over for a cup of tea and I see a kettle there, a 240 volt kettle, that actually collapses, does it?
Yeah, they're amazing. They take up very little space, but yeah, you can plug it in at home and your 240 volt grid power, or you can throw it in the roller drawer and take it camping.
That's amazing. And what other appliances have you got on board?
We've got a toaster and a sandwich maker.
And do you use them regularly?
Yeah. That's
Wow.
just to run that. clearly we've got the normal batteries under the bonnet which run the vehicle.
Yep.
Then we've got the house batteries in the back for all of this sort of stuff, your fridge, all your goodies, the inverter. So we've got two 100 amp hour lithium Revolution batteries in the back of the car. That's managed by a Red Arc BMS manager,
Yep.
which controls the whole system, tells you what power you're using and how much is coming in from solar or from the engine, or from the battery manager, I should say. And then you've got the 2000 watt Red Arc inverter, which is in that corner there.
21st century touring certainly has come a long way. Same can be said for navigation. It used to be the stars. These days, satellites do the hard work for us, and it's a good opportunity to have a chat with Jamie and to get our bearings.
So these Himura Maps?
Yeah, mate, just downloaded the Himura 4 Maps onto my iPad. It's the best thing I've done. I've used it a lot, through motorbike adventuring to off-roading to planning out trips and taking people away. Yeah, no, mate, I love it. Like, we've just pulled up here. We're on the intersection of the Coulson and the Madigan. Mate, we know where we are. We know where we're going, and no real chance of getting lost, hopefully.
Mate, it's been an adventure with a capital A, and this is a point of significance, isn't it? Not many people get to come and do this.
No, mate. Like, we've just come along this track here, and we're fresh tyre prints, so nobody's been along here for a while.
Yep.
Well, since the last time it's probably rained to get rid of the track, so
Yep.
no one's been here recently. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tell me about the Simpson. I reckon 22,000 people crossed it last year. It's a wild old place, isn't it?
That's really good for Australia and Australians, and obviously there'll be some tourists as well. But yeah, it's great to see people getting out there and having a look at our great country.
We're venturing east again, only this time officially on the Madigan Line, the track forged by one of the last great Australian explorers, Cecil Madigan. In 1939, Cecil, 9 men and 19 camels made the journey in the name of scientific exploration. So it seems only fitting that we should be greeted on the track by one of these so-called ships of the desert. The first camel came to Australia in 1840, and they were used predominantly for transport and exploration for obvious reasons. Australia now has the largest population of free roaming camels in the world, and the herd is estimated at 1.2 million. Our camels are highly sought after in the Middle East for racing and stud farms, and they go all right out here in the Simpson. In the next episode of Campr, we'll continue our run along the Madigan Line. And if you're keen to try an adventure like this one, get into your local ARB store for all the advice you'll need to make a trip like this happen for you.